Hey guys, so I noticed that the iPhone X, Pixel 2 and the new Galaxy S9 are the supposed best camera phones on the market right now, according to a popular mobile phone reviewing website for photography. So I wanted to put them to the test here and see how they do really stack up against each other. We have done a mixture of photos and video so we can see how the performance is. So let's get started. So first we can start with your average day-to-day scene here. Nice bit of colour as well to see how the phones do handle your colour here. So I think first things first, you can see iPhone 10 does seem to have a little bit better brightness, shall we say. When you're in like an indoor environment where the brightness isn't that apparent, you can definitely see like a lot of detail here on the photo, whereas with the Pixel 2 it looks a little bit grungier to me. In terms of the lighting here, maybe they're going for a more realistic look and not so overexposed, but I definitely prefer the iPhone 10 when it comes to this particular kind of scene. I think the S9 gets it just right though in terms of the picture. You can see it's not too bright and not too dim. Nice high detail here when you zoom in, and definitely a very usable shot. Let's move on to the next one. So we have a long range kind of shot here. I think it's HDR mode. So you can see, I think again the iPhone 10 seems to have like a little bit brighter like shot here. You can really see the background details a little bit better. The Pixel is quite good here. You can see, I think that software algorithms on the Pixel is very hard to beat actually when it comes to the long range shooting. Your S9 as well seems to be very good, although I'd say the details are a little bit lacking in comparison to the iPhone 10 and the Pixel 2 when you zoom in. So maybe the HDR isn't quite as good as the other phones. I will blow these pictures up on your screen so you can have a look for yourself here. So I have done quite a few actually. You can see snow for dinner here, and some other shots out and about. So yeah, I think I'm not blown away with the S9 in terms of the performance. I don't think it's a huge step up from what you're getting with the iPhone 10 or the Pixel 2, and that also goes for your bokeh shots here, which the iPhone 10 still takes amazing portrait mode shots, as well as the Pixel 2, which is quite surprising given that the Pixel 2 doesn't have a dual camera. But the actual bokeh mode, selective focus as they call it here, is very nice. Nevertheless, you can see a lot of blurred kind of detail here. But don't expect there to be a massive step up here if you are looking for that. So let's just blow up the pictures here, the daytime pictures, so you can have a good look at them. Personally, I think that cameras in smartphones are pretty much all comparable nowadays when it comes to the performance. Whichever one you're going to get an amazing experience. But I think if you play with the settings a little bit, the manual mode that we often forget is there, you could get a little bit more out of the camera. Usually I just use the auto kind of mode, so I might be missing out a little bit, but nevertheless I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. I'm also testing the video on all of them to see how they do compare, and I've got to say I think the Pixel 2 struggles against the iPhone 10 and the S9 here, which both support the 60 frames per second for the video recording. It looks much more smoother on iPhone 10 and the S9. The focusing is faster as well, and the zoom is absolutely amazing on the S9 as usual. It's always been fantastic on Galaxy phones, whereas it's a little bit rough on the Pixel 2. So yeah, I'd definitely give it to the iPhone 10 and the S9 when it comes to the video. I think the iPhone 10 still is like the class leader when it comes to stability You know, in terms of, it's just the zoom which I think the S9 gets it a little bit better here. Let's move on now to the other stuff like the low light performance here. Some people interested in that, so we did do a few shots here in the low light, and I gotta say, I think this is where the Pixel 2 really comes into its own in terms of the processing. You can see the colors look really accurate here. You can also see details which you can't see on the other phones. So if you zoom in here, how do you zoom in on the Pixel 2? That is a good question. You used to be able to just zoom, there we go. So you can really see like all the detail here in the shady parts, whereas the others are a little bit dark in those particular areas. But you know, at the end of the day, it's got a 1.5 aperture, the S9, so you are going to definitely notice that the images are a little bit clearer and less noisy, I think, compared to the other phones. But I think the Pixel 2 is still my favourite really when it comes to the low light. Still an amazing performer there. So, you know, you can have a look yourself. Again, I'll blow it up, you know, see which ones you think you prefer. I think iPhone 10 also does an amazing job, given that it has you know, optical image stabilization, 1.8 aperture and all the good stuff. So very strong on all of them when it comes to the low light. So which is the best? You know, that is a good question. I think the website I'm referring to refers to the S9 as being the best. But I think it depends on the situation really. I don't think you can say which one's the best based upon like one situation. So whichever one you're going to get, you're going to be very happy with nevertheless in terms of the camera performance, that's for sure. So yeah, just a quick little comparison here, hands-on. I'm not doing an in-depth comparison, obviously it's just a casual kind of point and shoot comparison here, but you know, I do welcome your comments. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.